Okay, aloha everybody. I am so sorry. We're a couple of minutes late. I became the host of for this series of meetings, so I had to start log in and everything like that. Excuse that challenge here. It's part of the transition. Okay, welcome everybody to the Chancellor's Campus Zoom meeting updates. We actually started sharing the agenda early, and I'm really happy to see that folks are populating the agenda for announcements. I don't know what the intent of these chancellor updates was, but I really like that people have wanting to share things themselves. So please, let's keep that up. Okay, so, but I do please reserve the right to order agenda items so that we can make sure that we cover priority items. Okay, all right. So if Lance is online, is Lance online by any chance?
He's coming, Misaki, just a minute.
Okay, all right. I wanted to start with some our updates. EOT. Okay, so while we wait for Lance, I just want to reiterate what I sent to you in writing about critical to fill requests. Okay, I hope everybody got that memo. We want to encourage, so while the task force is updating the policy itself, we don't want efforts to hire to fill vacancies to stop. Please, as I wrote in the memo, keep that coming. If you have any questions about, what position you used to have and what happened to that and that, please talk to Darsh. If you have positions that you think you submitted critical to fill and you don't know what happened to it after it left your office, chances are it got stuck somewhere in the leadership transition. We as in the new, myself, Lance and Darsh have actually purged all of the ones that we know about, but there could be more. So if you haven't heard about the request that you submitted a while ago, please check with Darsh, and then he should be able to tell you the stuff. Okay, all right, and then Lance, are you online yet?
Yeah, I'm here.
Great. Would you mind doing the facilities update and food update?
Yeah, sure. I'll take the easier one first. I think the food. So some of you might have noticed that there is a food truck out in the Great Lawn that I take no credit for. Justin was helping me and pushing and trying to get some food trucks into a rotation. So right now we have 2 food trucks, which doesn't sound like much, but our eventual goal is to multiply that to provide many more trucks. And there is a tipping point, so we're just we're starting with those 2. We're trying to see how those work out. What our eventual goal is to actually, because for the food trucks to work for us, it has to work for them. And I think what's going to happen is if we're talking about like maybe 3 or 4 food trucks Monday through Thursday, by week 3, 4, 5, I think people will get tired, start frequenting those trucks less and less. What we really want to do is to look at these 2 to make sure that they work fine and actually work with the system to inject these into like a rotation that takes them through different campuses. Honolulu has the same issues that we have. Leeward has the same issues we have. Windward, I just came from Windward, has the same issues that we have. But fortunately for Windward, the population is a little bit smaller, but we do have other campuses that have the same needs. And for the food trucks to work, it has to work for them as well as us. And so we're not in that discussion with the rest of the campuses. We want to show the rest of the campuses that it's easy to execute these these agreements that are still humbug that Justin, he completely did all of the, you know, the legwork in getting these agreements through procurement. So what we want to be able to demonstrate to everyone is that this can work. And it's like, you know, somebody did make a comment to me like, well, take off your system hat, just let's worry about Kapiolani first. And it's like, no, you know, like if we can get this thing into a rotation with different campuses, then we think it works for everybody and gives like the campus perhaps more like variety, because there's more than just, you know, like 4 trucks. So that is our aim. We're starting with the 2. Let's hope that it goes fairly smoothly so that we can, you know, sell the idea to the other campuses and get into, you know, something that's, you know, so that is the thinking. And that's, you know, on the food truck side of the house, there are still other ideas and thoughts. There's still, you know, the subway that we talked about last time. The only problem with the subway is we like all campuses, we desperately need to have people on campus for, you know, multiple food options to work over the long term. I think we can get anything to work on the short term, you know, because there's always that initial interest and there's also that excitement, but that, you know, tapers off. So there needs to be enough people on campus where, you know, it's a good mixture. So that's where we are on the food truck. I hope this one turns out well. We're hoping that the one that's on the way, there's just one piece of paperwork that they need to complete in order to get it done. And then, like I said, demonstrate a concept that we can replicate at other campuses. So
Great.
that's,
And facilities?
yeah, facilities real quick. I'm just going to talk about air conditioning systems because that's a humongous problem here. I just want to let you know, I think Jameson's on somewhere. Jameson's been working like super hard, like trying to get these things into the pipeline. So there's two big projects that are also tied to major funding requests that the legislature is currently looking at. One is for Kokio and one is for Ohelo. So right now there's a $10 million request for Kokio that the House approved that we don't know what the Senate is doing because their version of the budget comes out like in a day, this afternoon or the next day. So we'll kind of know where they're at that. The other one is for Ohelo Culinary. The air conditioning system on the roof, it's really, really bad. It's like any day now is what it looks like to me. And also there's issues with sprinkler systems, fire suppression systems. And the Kokio, it's not just about AC. There's AC, there's electrical infrastructure, there's fume hoods, it's massive projects. One is 10 million, one is 15 million. We're crossing our fingers. Mike and the system, they're pushing real hard for those. But in the meantime, because we all know what that means, like, well, what if I don't get the funding? What happens if, even if the best case scenario, we get that funding, there's a long time going through design and permitting and all that kind of stuff, getting the stuff in. So what Jameson is working on now is intermediate solutions for both of those projects. One is Kokio is to put individual air conditioning units in all of the spaces. The systems agree to it. The system's actually going to help us fund that. We don't have to wait for the big projects. The big projects is the permanent solution to this situation, but we're working on intermediate solutions for Kokio. So we've got estimates, which means that they've identified the problems, they've identified the infrastructure we need, they've identified the costs. And so Jameson's worked on all the paperwork that has to go through all the system, not just our system, but the UH system. So he's, and we're going to be working on the procurement packages soon. That is the same case with the Kokio, the intermediate solution. That's the same with Iliahi, because half of the units on the roof are out. So it's, you know, Jameson's worked everything through, working on the procurement package for that. For Olapa, there's a diamond head chiller and a Malka chiller coils are out. He's in the same state for that, working on all the procurement documents to get those pushed through. Manono chiller coils, same situation. It's got the estimates, got all the things, technical things, requirements worked out, working on procurement. Kawila, the Allied Health, I think this is like, I think one of the two major circuits are out, so it's working, but it's warm. So same thing, Jameson's worked through everything, working on the procurement. And Kawila, the RadTech, which is just out, and we stood in there and it's super hot. So also the same situation. So all of those projects are in the phase where we're working on the procurement side of, you know, getting those resolved. The ones that we're still trying to get an estimate, that means a technical evaluation of the system, identification of the problem, and a costing. That's what we need first. He's working with JCI on Ohelo. So Ohelo is the other big project. And I'm sorry, it's kind of rambling, but if this is your building and you're like sitting through it, hopefully it makes more sense to you. But like for Ohelo, we're waiting for a $15 million project. We need to get it this year or next. But in the meantime, there's 2 compressors and air handling units on the roof that just need to be replaced like ASAP. We can't wait. So Jameson is working with JCI to get the estimates on that. Once we get the estimates on that, you'll get all the other paperwork through, and then we'll go to procurement. And then if it's too expensive, we'll ask the system if they can help us, which they've been willing to thus far. The bigger projects help us with that. There's a nursing sim lab in Leahi. We're waiting for the estimates from JCI on that. I think we're close on that one. There's also another nursing project that we're looking at in terms of expanding sim labs in Mamane. So we're working on that. That one's a little bit behind the curve because we're looking at requirements that might exceed just a 1-for-1 air conditioning replacement. But Jameson, sorry, Jameson, I keep bringing up your name, but he's working really hard. He's really pushing. And, our aim is to try to bring relief as quickly as we can. These things take a long time to actually get through all the requirements. But I would say on the ones that I said earlier, where the JCI estimates, the identification of the problem, facility mod forms are down, it's at least more than halfway there before we can actually say, hey, your coil is on the boat and it's going to take like 2 months for it to get installed. So anyways, that was like I know we have a lot to talk about, so I just kind of wanted to blow through those and just say that, they're being worked on. And yeah, I give a lot of my hats off to my friend Jameson because he's working really hard.
Thank you, Lance. And I want to offer my sincere thanks to Lance, Jameson, Justin. In general, I would like to see a lot more life on campus and really all these resources, ACs, food. These are basic needs of our own students and ourselves. So, but you just heard the sausage factory behind the scenes, right? It doesn't happen overnight. So Lance has hit the ground running and his team to get us those resources back. So I really am thankful, and I'm thankful for you for being patient. Yes, there's some really good suggestions in the text chat, so we will take notice of that. All right, so moving on to the next item, and that is the strategic plan development update. That's another important project we're working on. Kara, please take us away.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you so much. And mahalo, Lance, for everything you're doing. I did ask you when you're sleeping in the chat because I'm very curious. But thanks for all that you're doing. And I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and get started with celebrating what we've accomplished within the past semester in developing our strategic planning map. So you can take a look here, and this is, hundreds of hours and hundreds of input from people. So thank you so much for your contributions. If you were able to serve on any of the working groups around our Na'alahele, thank you so much. And I'm going to kind of break it down for you a little bit today, what this looks like. And if you have questions along the way, let me know. And so what I'm going to do is walk you through this map. Then I'm going to show you some alignment with what's going on at the system level and within the University of Hawaii Community Colleges level. And then I have a Mentimeter for you all today, and I paid for it. So I feel like a parent of teenagers, and I'm like, you're going to play and you're going to like it. I don't care. So we are going to have a little bit of a quiz later on too, to hopefully test our knowledge and get a sense of how you're feeling about the new plan. Okay, so we have these 3 different areas, the directions, and you might notice that even the language changed from last month when I showed this. So we had verbs, we had action words, and now we have simple nouns for workforce, looking at thriving campus culture and student success. So we thought it would help simplify, because we have so many actions as we go through, and you see that as we go into what we want to accomplish. So our goals, and then as well as what we have here for how we're going to do it. So the strategies we'll need to take to get there, the hana ho'oko. Okay, so any questions so far with what you see here?
I have a question.
Yes,
Sorry, I always have a question.
no worries.
Can you discuss Kuleana to Native Hawaiians?
Yeah, so I think that's a great question, Angela. And I know that we had talked about it, actually putting it, like, how do we get it on the actual map itself? So that hasn't been done yet. But I think I'm going to go to the next slide, actually, because here I can show you that within the UH system imperatives, as well as the UHDC, they have the fulfilling of Kuleana to Native Hawaiians in Hawaii is its own separate imperative or direction or na'ala hele that we're calling it. Okay, so but we wanted it to be infused throughout, and I know that Chancellor sent out a message through CAC to kind of explain the why behind it. So why are we so we're, instead of having it kind of as a separate direction that you maybe you can focus on, or maybe you don't have, but you don't have to, it's just optional, you know, for your unit or your department. We want everybody to think about it, right? We're an Indigenous serving institution. We want to live it and breathe it and show that in everything we're doing. So we have it started here with just how we have our Hawaiian language featured here. So we have Olelo Hawaii here, and then also we're going to be incorporating it into the plan itself and using the three sisters to help lead us along the way. And Nava'a, if you want to jump in with that, I would love it. Thanks.
Shoots. So something you can hear me all right? All right. One idea we was thinking about was, because we have three alahele, or three strategies, we were thinking of Queen Kapi'olani. She had two sisters, Victoria Kinoiki Kekaulike and Virginia Kapo'oloku Po'omaikelani, and having each sister as well as Kapi'olani really be kind of the guiding force to each one of these alahele. So just a quick example, Virginia Kapo'oloku Po'omaikelani, she was the first president of the Board of Health of the Hawaiian Kingdom. So Board of Health, maybe she could be really the leader, or her legacy could be the one that really helps the workforce needs of Hawaii and beyond kind of thrive. So we're trying to bring them into our strategic plan. And I'm sure I'm gonna go see Keola so we can do more research on both Kapo'oloku Po'omaikelani and Victoria Kinoiki Kekaulike. And at the same time, still having specifics in terms of our Kuleana to Native Hawaiians at the same time. That's just a little bit. Is that all right, Kara?
I think that sounds great. And I bet Angela thinks it's better than all right too. Angela, anything else for us?
Thank you.
Thank you, Nava'a. Okay, any other questions? Oh,
Hi, Kara. This is Sean from the Honda Center. I was just wondering, you know, I kind of I tried to work my way through the document the other day and you know, add some information in, but, and maybe this is a question for the campus or maybe the chancellor in particular, but we've historically been strong on the international education side, especially recruitment efforts, internationalization and partnerships, international partnerships and so forth. And so I guess a thing that comes to mind is that a charge that we're going to continue to invest in? And if so, where, or maybe it's a question for Chancellor, but where would that be in this? I mean, I know, you know, historian on this, but I do know that that there was a lot of interest in things international at the, in the Hawaiian monarchy. There was a lot of travel that was going on. There was a lot of things that were being explored and shared, and they took and shared some of the best things about Hawaiian culture, but they also learned a lot and brought those things in. And so I feel like there is some DNA and some connection historically there, but I don't know exactly where or how it might fit in. And I just want to make sure that the International Student Office efforts are in alignment with what the values and the mission of the campus is. And if the campus does place a value on some component of international education, then in what capacity and where would that fall, or where would that be? Is this something kind of comes to mind?
Yeah, can I just jump in there? Great question, Sean. And then this is something that I talked with the Honda International Center folks the other day. When you say campus, it actually means you. It means all of us, right? And so this strategic plan is for all of us to set our collective directions and priorities. So I hope all of us who were interested in setting the course for our campus have been able to participate in this strategic plan development work that Kara has been leading us on. I myself have come very late in the process, in the piece, right, for this. So all of these, the Alahele, and most of the Pahuhopu, the goals had been set by, I wasn't really part of those conversations. So, so I hope, I don't know what conversations were brought up on global perspectives, internationalization, and all of that in the discussion groups that Kara led. Can you do a really quick?
Sure. So I think that thanks to Sean's addition of in our mission, we made sure to put global. So we do have global community in our own mission. Also, we incorporated Hawaii and beyond for our workforce needs. So thinking about our students, not just what they might be doing here in Hawaii, but beyond in terms of geography. So there's that world piece. And then I think, for example, if you're thinking, how would Honda plug into this? So you're talking right away about reimagining and expanding partnerships. You can see that it's really the first goal that I see here, right? So that's reimagining and expanding partnerships. So that's where you could plug in. That's where Honda would plug in and say, what actions can we take to do that? Okay, so that would be a fit. I also see for enhancing student engagement with providing high impact learning experiences. So that would be another aspect where you could plug in. And I definitely, or access to learning opportunities. So we have multiple modalities of instruction, and that could include studying abroad, right? So those are the ways that you can use it to see yourself in it. And I think that's really, so I'm sorry I didn't answer necessarily where the conversations happened around the global, but that's where I see how it would plug in to what you all are doing, the great work you're doing. Does that help, Sean, a little bit?
It does. I mean, I was
Okay.
trying to write in some of that as I worked through the document the other day. But my greatest concern, I mean, as is everyone here, is I just want to make sure that we're all headed in the direction that under Chancellor's leadership and what the campus is envisioning cumulatively. So I just wanted to make sure that we are not off on the side running in a separate direction, but we're running in tandem, and that we have a unity there, of course, focusing on international education, but at the same time, I just wanted to make sure that we're aligning with all of the objectives that are coming forth from the faculty and the administration.
Yeah, and that's a very good point. And then as far as I'm concerned, just as that it's a given that this is Hawaii and we all have kuleana to Hawaii and Native Hawaiians, that's a given. It's also given that Hawaii is geographically, historically, culturally the center of the Pacific, right? And as you said, Hawaii does have a history of, that's part of our DNA, as you say, right? So you can, just as we're not identifying kuleana piece as one of the Alahele. You can think of, you can infuse it, global perspectives and Pan-Pacific perspectives, Hawaii being the center of the Pacific, into any of these things. So that's fine. And luckily, as Kara will take us through, you will all be developing your own units, metrics. So you are in charge of your own destiny that is guided by this roadmap. But I don't want to get too far ahead. Kara, continue, please.
Okay, great. So I think that's a great segue actually. So I can maybe I didn't pull it up, but I can definitely share just what kind of went out to the CAC members. So hopefully department chairs, unit heads, as well as AGO leads will be having this conversation with their team and really kind of thinking about how do you measure success when you think about these different areas? Like, oh, okay, if I'm innovating offerings to think about how society's evolving, like how does that work in math? And I'm gonna just go with like ethno-mathematics, right? That's something super exciting that plugs into place, and there's a lot of buzz and interest there. So that could be like one area, like, oh, maybe it's the development of that. So you're really thinking about how would you find this success along all of the different aspects of the strategic plan. In particular, we're looking at those the pahuhopu level, the goals level, right? Because this is what we want, but how do we know if we're doing a great job getting there? And that's where that success piece comes in. So right now we're just starting those conversations. We're starting it at CAC, but what it was really important for us this time around was not for just OFI to come in and say, this is what we're doing and this is, you're gonna like it. And this is, maybe it didn't always align with what you're doing within your departments or unit, or maybe some of it is, but we have to kind of, we want to get a temperature check just to see what's going, where there's like this collective space of how much success is being measured, and use that as a metric. And we're giving ourselves time to do that too. So we're not going to try to cram that in the last month of the semester, but rather get into even next fall to explore that a little bit. Okay, so this will only be filled out by the department chairs, the unit heads, and the AGO leaders. But you all have access to take a peek at this. I know especially if you were, if you're part of the CAC listserv, you would have seen this come through.
I'm actually happy to share this link on the chat if that's a possibility. And so I would really encourage all of you to talk to your department head, unit head, to about this. Help them get ahead of the game, because they will be called all together to come up with unit metrics as well as campus-wide metrics. So your department chair, your unit head do need your help to get there.
Yeah, so the authorized kind of folks for this would be at the department level. So we're looking at, I said department chairs, department leads, AGO leaders, and unit heads. But just so you know, we will be having, just like we did with the last time I collected feedback from CAC folks, is I will be sharing, I won't be sharing, like if you think individual answers for like the multiple choice, but the open-ended, I will be sharing those results, like identifying who said what, right? Maybe to help with conversations next week. Sorry, I have COVID, so I'm a little like, whoo, okay, but I'm trying to hang in there. Thanks.
Okay, doing great. Thank you,
Thank
Kara.
you.
So yes, so moral of the story, please do talk among your units, within your units about, take that mapping home with you to your unit, and then discuss that in your unit, please, and then communicate whatever you're envisioning as to how we get there in your unit, please. Thank you, Kara. Okay.
Do
Okay.
you mind? Oh, sorry. Do you mind if we just do really quick? I just
Oh,
want to
yeah,
do
that's right.
quick. It will be fast because I know we're like more than halfway done. But I think this will be important. So I'm going to go ahead and put this in the chat. So I just want to do a quick just a quick temperature check. Just to, well, I don't know if that's appropriate right now. Maybe it is. I don't think I'm the only one sick right now. So we can go, but let's give it a try and see. So when we think about the big picture, the Mount Ala, sorry, Ala, the directions, where are we at? Okay, this is pretty awesome. So I see 3 folks have, okay, we're growing. And this is really exciting for me because the last time we did this last month, I think folks are starting to understand then that's Kuleana to Native Hawaiians and Hawaii, that's going to be what I'm going to give you the answer. How come it's showing me who answered? I don't know. I saw your name, Misaki. Okay, we're going to move on. But you can see here that, yes, it's around student success, thriving campus culture, and workforce needs that Kuleana is going to be throughout. So these are the 3 bigger directions that we have. Okay, and I'm gonna go ahead and I know, thank you. Don't worry, folks, there's plenty more. So we have Kuleana. Oh, nice. Nui. Awesome. Okay, so there you go. Good, great job, folks. Let's see, to move my, okay. So our campus plan aligns to at least 2 other plans. Is it true, false? It's pretty good. I think this one's a slam dunk. So this one is definitely true. So University of Hawaii, as well as the University of Hawaii Community Colleges. As soon as I'm done talking, I'll put the link into that slideshow where you can see the map, as well as the directions for, or the imperatives for the system and UHCC. Okay, moving on. Oh, that's just a slideshow a screenshot to show you the strategic plan that's out there from the system level, and UHCC, it's still under development, so we don't have access to that one yet. Oh, cool. You can do a thumbs up or a heart. The timeline, so we're done with that map. The metrics development are ongoing. And the written version of the plan is also ongoing. So we'll be working with the people who were part of the working groups to help me with that. I love that. And just to I've heard from my department chair or unit head about measuring success in the strategic plan. Haven't yet. Okay. So I'm glad, thank you for that. I only see, yeah, okay, a little bit more. So about 10 folks have answered. Thank you for amusing me. Thanks. I like it. Thank you. That was awesome. Okay, so it looks like I'm glad that we talked about it today and shared it with you. So you can give that feedback back to your leadership to see and say, hey, I have these ideas, or I think, can we get together and have those conversations? Or we'll make sure to also send out a reminder email via the CAC listserv to get feedback. Okay, great. Thank you for those of you. And you can keep voting and then I can see later too where we end up. And I'll send out this word cloud. Well, maybe I'll see what you all put in here first. How you're kind of feeling about our new plan. And are there any issues? Oh, good. Oh, cool. Nice. Energized, excited, hopeful, jazzed. We talked about bringing life into the back to the campus. And I feel like we can bring life into the plan this time around too. And oh, thank you. Awesome. Thank you so much, everybody. We can kind of, how about we move on and then I can share this at the end too, and we'll see how it fills out. Who's next? Thank you.
Okay, great. Thank you, Kara.
Yep.
Okay, and then thank you all for being
Mhm.
engaged in this. It's really nice to feel that energy of
Mhm.
togetherness. Okay, so so announcements. We have a whole bunch, so let's get through this. You all have received announcements for the next two items. The Board of Regents meeting in April 20th, starting from 7 a.m. We are hosting the BOR this time. So we will be doing the campus report. Thank you all in AGO leaders for doing that with me. And thank you to CELT and Culinary for helping us host the regents. Okay, and then the next campus visit I want to mention is by the Associate VPs of Community Colleges, Della Terra Oka and Mike Unebasami will be visiting our campus Thursday 27th, 2 to 4 p.m. That everyone's invited and encouraged to actually attend. That's when they will do an update of system-wide data and directions and initiatives. Come with hard questions so that we have a chance to hear directly from them. Okay, all right, so next bullet is commencement updates. Broman, are you here?
Yes, I am. Hello, everyone. This is the general commencement update. So commencement for sure will be on Friday, May 12th. We will have 2 ceremonies, and the reason being is because of the capacity of Diamond Head Theater. So it will be a Diamond Head Theater, so that'll be fun. And the ceremony times will be 1 p.m. and 5 p.m. We're going to split it depending on the amount of majors and programs that signed up. So students will be given which ceremony after the deadline for registration. We do have a commencement deadline registration this year of April 16th. So students must complete the form. It's really easy. It literally just asks them for their name, their email address, major, program. There's nothing they have to, they don't have any long response questions they have to answer. They just need to register. So if you have students that may not have registered, or they're graduating, just check in with them and say, hey, are you going to walk this year? Did you sign up? So please just check in with your students. Let's see, what else are we having? We chose our commencement speaker, so we do have a student speaker that we are going to be working with who will be doing a live speech. So that'll be fun. Her name is Marin Suzuki. She's involved actually in the Board of Student Activities, POW, and then also with Phi Theta Kappa. So she's really involved on campus and has a good theme to her speech. And then lastly, for commencement, Grad Fest. Thursday, April 13th and Friday, April 14th, we're going to have Grad Fest where students can ask any questions they have about commencement, or they could register on the spot if they're ready and they need to. We'll also have cap decorating. That's going to be hosted by the Lama Library. And then we will also have things like cap and gown rental. The bookstore will be open a little bit longer on Thursday. And then we'll have other activities and just fun things for the students participating, because it's meant to be fun. But also to get them excited, but also to give them all the questions or answers that they need, and then any resources they'll need to know as well. If you have any questions, please email Capcom, or I don't know if there's time, but just email or put in the chat. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Roman, for your leadership in this. How exciting we get to have commencement in person and in larger venue. So please, everybody come and join and celebrate our student success here. Okay, great, thank you, exciting. Okay, so the next one, okay, so this is what's called General Education Inquiry Team. This comes from the UHCC system office. Okay, so what they're wanting to do, there's a memo attached to this so you can read, but it's not the general education design team. They're not redoing that. They have come to a point where they realize that they need some research into the current practices, best practices, and new emerging ideas and needs for general education. So they're assembling a team to do that research. Okay, so each campus has been asked to name one administrator, academic administrator, and 2 faculty members to serve on this committee. I have asked, and then he has accepted Nava'a to be that academic administrator. Thank you very much. And then Rich is working with Faculty Senate to identify who those 2 faculty will be. So I hope if you're faculty, you're aware of this, but just wanted to bring this to everybody's attention. Okay. Okay, next one is John for CAE-CD designation. That's good news too.
Thank you for the opportunity, Chancellor, to share a really wonderful accomplishment by our IT program. Kapiolani Community College was named a National Center of Academic Excellence in Cyber Defense by the National Security Agency, NSA, and the Department of Homeland Security. The CAE-CD designation is awarded to regionally accredited academic institutions that offer high-quality cybersecurity-related degrees and certificates. Congratulations to the program.
Okay, congratulations, mahalo, John. That's super exciting. Okay, so the next item is the CIP Virtual Town Hall. Carol?
Okay, thank you very much, Chancellor. Aloha, everyone. The next CIP Virtual Town Hall meeting is actually tomorrow, Thursday, April 6th, from 5 to 6 p.m. to RSVP. I'm going to put the link in the chat, and you can go there and respond, and then you'll be given the actual link to attend the webinar. There's a lot of change that has occurred in the construction of the phase 2. So you'll want to take a look at some of the visuals and hear the report. And Chancellor Takabayashi will be hosting her first CIP virtual town hall. So please come and join us. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Carol. Okay, I know we're moving super fast because of lack of time, but moving on to next bullet, which is the KCC Food Bank Food Drive campaign. Annie?
Yeah, aloha everyone. Just really quickly, I just wanted to share that myself, along with the library, are helping to coordinate the Food Bank Food Drive this year. So this is the annual campaign for the Food Bank of Hawaii. So just look out in your email. I'll be sending out information, the CAC list, and news and events. But from now until the end of the semester, we'll be collecting canned goods, bags of rice in the library, and there's also ways to make monetary donations. So I'll be sending all that out via email. Okay, mahalo.
A lot of coordination. Mahalo, Annie. Thank you. Okay. All right. So the next 2 items are by Jamie, Aloha Institute, and Kapiolani Summer Camp. Please.
Aloha, super fast. So both of these events are happening again at the end of the summer, the beginning of August. We've got a call for proposals for summer camp. It's going to be another really fun year, but only if you come and make it fun. So check out the previous camps on our website if you want to get an idea for sessions. If you want to float some of those ideas, please feel free to reach out to the team. But there's a pretty short proposal submission form. Those will be open until May 1st. And Aloha A, there are 3 tracks again this year. You can read more about it in the link in the chat. And we just opened applications on Monday. We've already got 29. So if you're interested, please hop in there before the spots fill. Thanks.
Yeah, they do look fun. Thank you. All right, Surf, Nadine.
Hi, thanks everyone. Just a quick announcement, we're bringing back our Student Undergraduate Research Fair, or known as SURF. And like every semester, it'll be May 1st and through the 3rd. And we're super excited that May 3rd is actually going to be in person. So we're bringing back one day in person, which is great. For those of you who don't know, this is when students show the research, undergraduate research they have done. It's a really great event. But we need support. We need people to help us out, monitor the rooms for safety. You do not have to be a tech expert. You don't have to be a STEM person either. Anyone can help out. And it's so fun to see our students share and sort of, talk about what they've learned. And it's just one of my favorite events of every semester. So I hope that if you have time, like a time slot, you can help out and register, or just come by and check out what the students have done. So anyways, thanks everyone for listening. Bye.
Okay, that's also one of my favorite things, student research. That's excellent. Okay, all right, so we've like raced right through. I think we have one more item that Sean wanted to share with us about international students.
Yes, thank you for your time, Chancellor. Real quick, we have a couple of quick updates. The first one is regards to CVIS. We're receiving indication, no finalized decision yet from CVIS, but we're receiving some indication that we are going to return to the quote unquote pre-COVID guidelines, meaning of 12 credits mandatory, 9 credits will be in person or hybrid, and that will likely take in effect in the fall, maybe the summer. And so we will know more. They said that they're going to likely disseminate some information around the beginning of May, but we wanted to share what we've been hearing from colleagues and so forth so far. So that's one thing that's in the pipeline to likely change. We are making our students aware of this already. We've been sending out some emails and so forth, and we're also trying to make our faculty aware, but we'll keep everyone abreast once we know more information on that. The other thing is with regards to, there's a mandatory international student health insurance. In order for them to succeed on campus, we want to make sure that they're healthy, they have access to services and so forth. The company that we are working with, the broker that we're working with, was purchased last year by an even larger insurance company. And so there's a little bit of a delay because they're creating a new website and all of these things. Long story short, it's not going to be ready in time for students to register for fall. We typically require students to purchase the insurance for the future semester that they'll be attending. What we're going to be doing is the website will likely be live in a couple of weeks. And we know that registration is happening this upcoming week. We're removing all the holds for the international students temporarily to allow them the opportunity to register. And then we will follow up with them on that mandatory insurance. Now, in the insurance, just for your own information, there are going to be some added services. Telehealth services are also included, even dietary help and mental health counselor. And some of them are language specific depending on where they're at. And so do know that for international students, we're trying to set up a network for them that will be able to support them in these areas that they need not physically go to the hospital if they just want to receive quick telehealth, and basically they will just log in and they can you can see an image of all the different doctors and you can pick the one that maybe looks friendliest to you. So and then they can kind of speak with that individual or schedule a time. So there's some additional help there. So if you come across international students in need of those types of services, you can reach out to our office. We're not an insurance specialist, but we will try our best to try to act as that bridge. And we have a liaison that we work with, an account manager that we work with that is always willing and able to help our students as well. Great, thank you.
Okay, thank you. It's really nice to see some things going back to, if you like, pre-COVID, more organic state. So that's great. And then it's great that we have so many things to talk about today. That means we're really coming back in action. All right, so we want to make sure that we have some time for questions, Q&As. I think the food options question was answered. Don't forget, 220 Grill is open for new session as of today. So please go support them. I've yet to eat there, so I'm excited. So was that enough, whoever asked that question? Lance's report? I hope so. And then there is a second question that's posted on the agenda of mask policy on campus. Lance, are you ready to respond to this?
Yeah, I think so. So back in the fall, this past fall, at the beginning of the fall semester, the policy, the university-wide policy was that masking was continued in certain situations. And the biggest one was like in classrooms. It said, we're going to continue to mask in classrooms at the beginning of the fall semester. Somewhere in the middle of the semester, they lifted that, I guess, that requirement. And they said, well, it's no longer required. And the languaging is a little bit interesting because it's kind of saying, well, it's still something that's recommended, to promote safety and so forth, but it's no longer required. So I think Kapiolani CC in that circumstance elected to kind of continue on the path and say for, those classes, especially since at the very beginning of the semester it was required, that if, instructors wanted to continue on along that path, that it was okay to do so, because it was kind of, to kind of midstream, change it like that. And so that's how it's been. And I think it just by inertia or whatever, or it continued into the spring. I don't really know how many instructors elected to continue that into the spring, but this is definitely something that is no longer university policy. So I will double check with the system, like our system. I know the other campuses, like I just came from Windward, and Windward, it's completely lifted now. Of course, the decision to mask on an individual basis is respected and encouraged whenever individuals feel that way. But in terms of like a campus policy, a campus requirement, it's no longer. So I think that's something that we just need to huddle real quick on, and everybody says yes. Not that you ever reach 100% consensus, but yes, the policy no longer exists. We really need to look forward into the fall and make changes in that respect. So that's what I'm going to recommend, that we take a look at that and not just, continue, which is kind of where we are now. And everybody's in a different place. Some, classrooms require it and some people don't. Some individuals obviously feel comfortable and have different, health needs, and so continue to wear it, and some don't. But the requirement, I think, Chancellor, is something that we should revisit and, do away with. Well, not do away with, discuss.
Yes, great. Thank you for that update. It's nice to remind ourselves of what the current policies are, right? So thank you for that. Why don't we do this? Why don't we promise to ourselves that by next Chancellor's Zoom, which is in a month, we will have a policy update?
Yes, that's a good idea.
How about that? Yeah. Okay, great. Thank you. Okay, so that's the end of our questions, but other folks may have questions or comments. Now is the time. We have 4 minutes. Or updates, announcements. What are the cafeteria hours for students? Anybody here can answer that question? Oh, just for space.
Yeah, sorry, I'm asking that question. One of my faculty stopped by and said it's not posted on the door. I went to the website and it just talks about food option, but I'm just wondering, they're wondering, and I'm asking for my faculty when,
Sure.
like, when is the space open? Will it be open longer? Will it be posted somewhere?
I'm assuming that that's a really good place traditionally for people to gather and study together. Yeah. Okay. Lance?
Yeah, I don't know offhand. And I just wanted to ask, is that something that's normally done, like extended hours during finals, just for the reason that you mentioned, that it makes sense and it's a good place for, and there's really not a whole lot of other places to do that, I assume, but I can look into it.
I think it closes, I'm just guesstimating around 5-ish, but usually students can also study outside of the bookstore downstairs till pretty late. I think that's open the latest of a place to study. Yeah.
Yeah, I know Kikahaolea, he used to have study with a buddy, like what Sean Ford put in there on their side on it. Is that still happening, Angela?
I'm not sure. That would be maybe a Michaelin or Lavache question. Michaelin's not here today, though.
Maybe we can post the hours whenever we decide on the
Okay.
doors of the cafeteria for folks and students to see. That would be great. And maybe make an announcement in news and events or something. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you for asking that question though, because I think these are the resources that we're talking about to support students being back on campus, right? Food and staff being on site on campus, all of those things help, but I think there are many other items that we need to put back in. So please bring those up to our attention. Lance and I are new to this campus, remember, so we don't know what was normal. So please let us know. And I want to do everything to bring life back to campus. So yes, ask those questions, please. Yeah, that's great. Okay, any other questions, comments? Did I miss anyone? Any agenda item?
No, but I'll follow up with Michaelin, and maybe Student Congress or Student Life is doing something for students during finals week. So I'll also follow up.
Yeah, okay, great, thank you. All right, if nobody has anything more, we can call goodbye here, but yeah, thank you.
One thing.
Oh wait, Lance has something.
Sorry, just really quick, Justin just direct messaged me. Apparently he was able to work out those last names with Happy Belly so that they're going to be here on Monday. So a different food truck will be on Monday. So thank you, Justin.
Alright. Yeah, so we'll have 3 food trucks over the course of the week to choose from, and 220 Grill. So that's getting us that's great. I'm super excited. Thank you, everybody. All right, and thank you for attending today. It's nice to see your faces, even if it's your profile photo. Hope to see you on campus. Okay, take care. Have a great day. Bye.